Hey everyone, XGamXHQ here, and today I'll be going over the most important features that are coming in Update 40. If you're interested in seeing the basics on Endless Archive and the class that's coming, I did release a video covering those already that was released a few days ago, so go ahead and watch that. We will be skipping over that in this video. We're just going to be going over the things we already haven't gone over. So just real quick before we get started, there's not a whole lot of combat changes this patch. They're actually mostly just looking for feedback regarding Endless Archive, which I will have a video on that coming very soon. I just have a little bit of play testing to do. I wanted to be live yesterday as soon as the PTS went live. However, it ended up going live very late in the evening, and I just did not have time to really sink my teeth into it like I wanted to. But hopefully we can get live on the PTS sooner than later. I will also be going over the new houses in its own little video. It's just going to be cinematic, no commentary, no nothing. Just vibes so that everybody can see what the new houses look like. Alright, so I kind of lied. Just scrolling down a little bit, there is a few developer comments regarding the sets that are coming in Update 40, so I'm just going to go ahead and read those. So for the Wrathsun Templar set, the developer comment reads, Wrathful Nova uses the same radius, damage, and other effects of Nova and is cast on the last enemy you dealt damage to using Wrath's ability when you reach 50 stacks of sunlight. So effectively, you are spending 50% of your current magicka once you reach 50 stacks to drop a Nova, the ultimate ability, on the enemy. So that could actually be decent, especially in PvP. Maybe you're going to be able to drop 2 Novas on the same enemy. Can we still use the synergy? Definitely something to keep an eye on. We also have a developer comment for the Sorcerer set Monolith of Storms, which reads, every storm calling ability can trigger this set on initial damage, but damage over time storm calling abilities will also trigger this set every 5th tick of damage. The monoliths you create will only link to your other monoliths. So something like Streak, the initial hit of Streak will apply it, whereas the Lightning Flood ability can actually apply 2 monoliths. So you get 1 on the initial hit, and then after the 5th tick of it, you get another monolith. The Nightblade's class set Soul Cleaver. You must have at least 20 ultimate and be in combat to gain any effects from this set, which we kind of expected. We have 77 new achievements and 3 new titles coming in Update 40 that are related to Endless Archive. So we had 3 titles, the Unending, Inkslayer, and the Well-Versed. We have a new mount that is going to be gained from achievements, a new pet that's going to be gained from achievements, and those are on screen right now. We also have face and body markings, the shattered text, and the mirror maze face markings. We also have a new memento called Summoned Booknado and Malkas Accursed Mirror. We also have 2 new outfits that are coming. So the Red Rook Bandit and Frandar's Tribute. And Frandar's Tribute is actually gotten from Tales of Tribute, and Red Rook is gotten from Telvar Merchants. Those are not achievement bound. Then we have a new die called the Arcmaster Moss. It's going to be gotten from another achievement, most likely related to Endless Archive. Moving on, we have a new Tales of Tribute Patron deck. Then there's a few notes here regarding the new group finder, just basically confirming that you can use this like a bounty board kind of system. It is not a queuing system, it specifically says right there, but you can use it for dungeons, trials, Endless Archive, arenas, PvP, zones, custom. So custom would be like role-playing scenarios and what have you. Quick note on the Grand Master crafting stations. Now, guild masters can, instead of having over 300 of their slots being used for crafting stations in their guild halls, they can now condense it all down to just 4 stations. The main thing I wanted to touch on here is that they can be purchased for 1,500 writ vouchers apiece. So in total, you're going to need 6,000 writ vouchers to get each one of these stations to start feeding into in your guild hall. One thing I just want to touch on real quick here is that they're actually improving the daily quest rewards for Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, and Undaunted. So their daily quests, not including pledges, are going to have upgrades coming to their coffers. So now the coffers will drop companion gear, overland set gear, which comes from the zone that the quest takes you, ornate gear, gold, deconstructible equipment, which prioritizes a trait that you do not have researched yet, except for Nirn, because Nirn comes from your veteran trials, veteran arenas, so on and so forth. And the jewelry will only drop in robust, arcane, and healthy traits because the other traits already have designated drop areas. It's going to also drop random crafting materials and a small chance for a guild commendation, which you can trade and stack. That gives you a small amount of reputation with the guild you've gotten it from. They're also going to drop the Draugr motif style page with an exceedingly tiny chance at the whole motif book. And then Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, and Undaunted are going to prioritize different kinds of armor. So the Fighters Guild is going to drop heavy armor, 1 and 2-handed axes, 1 and 2-handed maces and shields. Mages Guild will prioritize light armor and staff types. And then the Undaunted will drop medium armor, 1 and 2-handed swords, daggers, and bows. ZOS is updating the quest experience and goal rewards. Before I continue, just know that your basic crafting rates are not going to change. They're going to be standardizing the XP and gold rewards from a lot of quests based on their categories. So real quick, maximum possible gold rewards and XP rewards are going to be going to zone stories, main stories, prologues, battleground quests, and trial quests. High gold and XP rewards will be given to most objective point of interest quests, incursion daily quests like dragons, world boss daily quests, dungeon pledge quests, and public dungeon quests. Standard gold and XP rewards will be given to miscellaneous zone content quests, fighters, mages, undaunted daily quests, and delve daily quests. Low gold and experience rewards will be given to event quests. Minimum possible gold and experience rewards are going to be trivial and vector quests, which are the kind of ones that direct you from one point to another, such as the quest in Alinor in Somerset, where you go to a bounty board and it just brings you to the place that gives you the delve and world boss quests. Those are going to offer the minimum possible gold and experience. Then the minimum possible experience and maximum possible of gold is going to be from basic crafting writs. So basic crafting writs are no longer going to give you much experience at all, but it's going to still give you the maximum possible gold. Whereas master crafting writs are going to give the maximum possible experience, but only a standard amount of gold. So master crafting writs are still an easy way to upgrade, or rather level very quickly, say for example a weapon skill line, and Cyrodiil quests were left alone. Next up we have some known issues for the class sets that are coming in update 40. So the Nightblade's class set Soul Cleaver, Siphoning Ultimate and the Smorfs do not currently gain the correct bonuses from Soul Cleaver, and the Ultimate meter occasionally does not display the correct ultimate amount while using Soul Cleaver and Siphoning Ultimate. The Arcanist class set Reawakened Hierophant, this tooltip does not currently mention that this set does not work with the Curative Rune Form Ultimate, and this ability currently places dummy buffs on your bar when using 2nd and 3rd Crux power. The Sorcerer set Monolith of Storms, enemies will occasionally not take damage from this set if they took damage 2 seconds earlier, which means that testing with this set is going to be delayed because the DPS numbers are not going to ring true while we're parsing. Basalt Blooded Warrior, which is the DK set, the tooltip does not currently mention that it's a 20-second cooldown. It also lasts for 20 seconds, so that's fine. They honestly probably don't even have to have the cooldown on it. It's not really going to make that much of a difference whether if it does have a cooldown or not, unless you just do not remember to re-up your Earth and Heart ability whatsoever. And the Necromancer ability, or set rather, Nobility and Decay, you cannot currently use Necrotether abilities to tether to yourself. So currently using something like Mortal Coil, you cannot currently tether to yourself when you are a corpse. Real quick, just worth mentioning here that ESO Plus members are going to be getting 10% more archival fortunes when they are doing Endless Archive, which archival fortunes are the currency used to purchase the items from the vendor. Alright, now we're on to the combat and gameplay changes for update 40. As said above, there's not actually going to be that many. but I will just be hitting the most important ones. So the following ultimate abilities have had their targets affected adjusted to 12 rather than only 6, which absorptions, fields heal, consuming darkness and morphs major protection, gibbering shelters damage shield, magma shells damage shield, rite of passage and morphs heal, secluded grove and morphs heal over time, fleet storm and morphs major protection, soul siphons heal, vitalizing glyphs and morphs heal. Moving on now, we have some Dragonite buffs. The Ardent Flame skill line, the Inferno skill and its morphs. Its morphs are Cauterize and Flames of Oblivion. So it says this ability and its morphs passive slotted bonus now persists through bar swap, and the passive slotted bonus is Major Prophecy and Major Savagery. The Lava Whip skill, specifically the Molten Whip morph, the Seething Fury stacking bonus from this morph now operates as a slotted passive bonus that persists through bar swaps, rather than only on the bar that the ability is slotted on. So it's going to work like Bound Armaments and Grim Focus, where if you have Flames of Oblivion on the back bar now and you cast it on the back bar, Seething Fury will now gain a stack if Molten Whip is on the front bar. Now to mitigate pre-buffing, they are going to make it so that you need to be in combat to gain stacks. The Draconic Power skill line, the Dragon Leap Ultimate, Ferocious Leap Morph. The damage shield granted from this ultimate will now replace itself similarly to other shields rather than stack if you manage to cast the ultimate again that quickly. The Sorcerer's Unstable Clan Fear is going to have its active cast reduced down to 4320 Magicka, down from 4500, and the Templar's Dawn Wrath skill line for Radiant Destruction, Radiant Glory morph in particular. It says this morph now also grants Magicka Restore when it deals damage, which is based on the missing health of the enemy, up to a maximum of 480 per tick. So not only is this morph of the ability going to deal more damage, it's also going to restore your Magicka, and it deals more damage based on how much Magicka you actually have. Additionally, in the Restoring Light skill line, the Restoring Aura skill will now have its passives persist through bar swap, and its passives are Minor Fortitude, Minor Intellect, and Minor Endurance. Wardens are seeing a little bit of a nerf this patch, so Permafrost morph of Sleet Storm is going to have its damage reduced per tick by approximately 60% to make up for the Glacial Presence passive buffing Chilled, as this morph, despite its existing damage reduction, still did more damage than Northern Storm. In the Restoration Staff skill line, the Blessing of Protection skill will no longer attempt to heal pets in order to prevent them from taking the named buff effects that play a huge role in why the abilities are ran. The Dawnbreaker ultimate from the Fighters Guild skill line has had its cone size increased to 135 degrees, up from 120, to help them land slightly more consistently to closer enemies and better align to their visual effects. The Undaunted skill line, the Radiant Synergy that is given by something like Inner Fire, has had its damage reduced by 20% to make sure that it's more in line with other synergies. Now on to the sets and itemization. So Dungeons and Arena sets were the only thing that were really touched here, otherwise it's just bug fixes and that kind of thing. So Aegis Caller had its 3-piece bonus changed from Stamina Recovery to Critical Chance to better facilitate its proc requirements, and Pillar of Nirn had its total damage reduced by the set's proc by approximately 22%. Now I know that looks like a big number, but we're actually going to go into the PTS here and we're going to test really how much damage reduction you're going to see for Pillar of Nirn. We're also going to put it up against Aegis Caller now that Aegis Caller has had an increase in critical chance. And the Pillar of Nirn also had its 2-piece bonus adjusted to critical chance rather than maximum stamina. So let's go ahead and read the developer comment here. We're finally taking a look at Pillar of Nirn's place in the game, and we've seen it pull ahead of a considerable number of other offensive options over time. Since Pillar only requires a stationary target for its initial hit, we're trying to better align its power to where it's weaker than a set like Aegis Caller that requires a more consistent stationary target, while being stronger than directly applied over time effects like Viper's Sting or Unleashed Terror. Simultaneously, to ease the nerf to the proc and its aid to approachability for build types, we're adjusting the bonus to be more impactful and universally powerful with critical chance. So that right there is exactly what we're going to be putting up against Aegis Caller, because it does say right in the developer comment that they want it to be weaker than Aegis Caller. So we're going to go and we're going to actually test to see if it is weaker than Aegis Caller, because if it is, Aegis Caller is going to be your new meta, because it's going to be dealing more damage than Pillar of Nirn, and on top of that, it deals AoE damage. That being said, Aegis Caller requires martial melee damage, so if you're using an Inferno Staff on the back bar, you're going to be sticking with Pillar of Nirn. Aegis Caller will require you to have either sword and board, dual wield, or two-handed. And that's it for this one, guys. Thank you all for watching. Go ahead and like and leave a comment. Go ahead and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you very much again for watching. See you in the next one.